I've always been a big fan, and I've always run off-road in Inov8 shoes. I was using Talon 212s and Talon 190s, but they just weren't quite giving me that degree of flexibility that I wanted. So I'd go out running in my Vibrams on the hills, and after falling on my backside on more than one occasion, just got frustrated thinking what I really want is a Vibram with a stud. And delighted when in spring this year Inov8 brought out their Baregrip 200. Had a pair now since about March, put sort of about 500-600 dark peak miles into it, so feel it's about time that I can sort of give judgment on them and let you know what they're like. Got old and new here. You can see the vibrant lime green colour does fade slightly with time, but still remains quite in your face, so you're either going to like that or loathe it, but I quite like it, and it stands out and it's nice enough. Main features: it's that zero differential between the heel and the toe, so you've got no difference there, so your foot is held flat and totally natural. There's no midsole at all, so you've got the studs, the outer, and that's what you're standing on. So the shoe is totally flexible, so your foot can move as near to barefoot as you can get within it. The upper is very soft mesh material, as is the inner and the tongue. They've obviously put quite a lot of thought into that. Some people might actually want to run barefoot in the shoe, so it is very, very soft. And I've certainly experienced no rubbing at all, even though I do tend to wear socks with them. Got a reasonable toe bumper, which is nice. You're still going to punt rocks and things, so you do want a little bit of protection for your toes. I'm all for barefoot and minimal running, but I don't really want to hurt my feet, and you can get a bit of sackcloth and ashes about these things. Most importantly, the tread and the grip. Extremely aggressive, very effective, very grippy. And the thing that really strikes you when you're running them, it's similar to running tubeless mountain bike tyres. That when you run a tubeless mountain bike tyre, because you haven't got an inner tube to pinch flat, you can run them at much lower pressure, so they deform to the trail and give you much better grip. These are the same. Because you've got no midsole holding the trail stiff, it deforms to every little nook and stone and rock, and just grips, and the grip on them really is absolutely second to none. Climbing, descending and contouring, they're fantastic, and there's absolutely no sliding or wobbling around. My big concern about them when I initially got them was how they were going to wear. They're a minimal shoe, they're stripped down, they're lightweight, they've got the sticky performance compound on them, which the downside of that is that it can wear away. So let's look at a shoe that's put the miles in. I think for sort of 500-600 miles in, it's doing pretty well. The tread, there's a bit of wear, but it's still absolutely functional. The wear is where you'd expect it to be. It's internally on the front, because obviously when you're climbing, you're up on your toes, and that's what you're doing. But the rest of the wear is pretty good. I haven't shed any studs, which has been a problem with some Inov8 shoes in the past. The bit of wear on the inside of the upper there, but all in all it's holding up pretty well, and I'm confident that I should get at least another 100 or 200 miles out of this set before I need to go on to these ones, which I think is pretty good value for money and pretty good performance. As I said, outrunning in them, absolutely very, very impressed. All of the boxes is covered, and I'm pretty much doing all of my running and racing in them. If you want to give them a try, give them a try. If you're coming from a normal fell shoe, you don't need to really make any sort of drastic transition to them. If you're coming from more of a road or a trail background using a more heavily cushioned shoe, introduce them into your running slowly. Don't just start running in them suddenly, because they won't let you get away with heel striking. They will force you up onto your toes in midfoot, and they will change the way you run. So use them slowly, introduce them, but enjoy them. They're a great shoe, and I'm going to be running in them for the foreseeable future.